On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten Conference. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Shields, we're right there with you in Des Moines, Sioux City, Iowa City, and Cedar Falls. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Number one versus number two is a rare occurrence regardless of sport. Iowa-Penn State wrestling has been the norm, but still extraordinary. As the number two Hawks and top-ranked Nittany Lions square off this week at the Bryce Jordan Center, you'll hear in their own words from Iowa head coach Tom Brands and the incomparable 125-pounder Spencer Lee, the Hawkeyes' three-time defending NCAA champion. The Fight for Iowa podcast is sponsored by Iowa Corn, Shields, Athletico, and UIHC.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Join Gary Dolphin and Bobby Hansen for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey each week at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Coralville. Hawk Talk is 90 minutes of discussion about Iowa basketball. Check out HawkeyeSports.com for more information.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Whether in Iowa City or State College, Iowa-Penn State wrestling is rarefied air. On the eve of another 1 versus 2 showdown, Hawkeye coach Tom Brands shared some thoughts on his leadoff batter, Spencer Lee, and the absurd atmosphere these two programs create on the mat.
I think the environment's great. I mean, you're getting 16,000 people in a 15,900 seat arena. That's awesome.
What are you hoping to learn from you guys this Friday?
We got to keep progress going, and we got to keep getting better. And, you know, we're at the end of January, and so we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Biggest thing is consistency, getting better, health, those things.
Will your lineup look more like what you guys put on the mat?
The lineup will be what the lineup is on Friday, and I don't mean to interrupt you. But this has been a bizarre year, and we will go one day at a time with our lineup. We have all year. Well, there's nobody. I haven't seen anybody better ever, and I'm talking my heroes when I was young, the current guys that are winning titles for the United States, because we have a powerhouse team right now, and you can go back to those Russians. Belaglazov, Fedzayev, and that's not an overstatement. Wrestling is a tough sport, and so for me to answer what my personal feelings are, it almost does a disservice to an athlete given the green light medically, and now he makes a choice. He made the choice to go, and it's a tribute. Excuses are for wusses. And he said it, whatever. It came off, it rolled off his tongue, and it was natural for him to say, and it's the truth. He stepped up, he made the choice, and he made the most out of a dire situation, and that's what the best competitors on this planet do in any circumstance, not just sports. It's a tribute to him, tribute to how he was raised.
Tom, with Spencer, I sometimes catch myself looking at the pins against number 4, number 3, number 6. Do the rankings, do they not mean anything for Spencer and for you? Whether it's the number 3 ranked wrestler on the mat or the number 1 dual team overall?
I mean, rankings are, they create the buzz, and then after that, you keep talking about it and the fanfare and all that, but when you step on the mat, they really don't mean anything. Everybody has a knockout blow in this sport. You can be behind and find a way to get the fall, as long as there's time on the clock. I don't think, Spencer pays much attention to anything except for doing what he does best. So, again, another tribute to his approach.
Does that mean, let's just taking this week as an example, are you telling your team, well, we're going to Bryce Jordan Center, number 1, we're against number 1, or take a look, you're against number 1, RB1?
No, you talk about characteristics, they know the ranking, they know what's at stake. The environment is an opportunity, it's a fun environment, that's what you want. We have a great environment here, they have a great environment there, whether we're here or there, it's going to be a great environment. And you know what? Competitors thrive in those situations. And the other thing is how much do you crave a challenge? And then when that challenge is put in front of you, how much do you crave success? Are you going to will it to go your way? And these are opportunities to do that. We got to be better than we were in November. And, it's not going to be where you just fall into it. You're going to have to go out there and impose yourself on an opponent that is skilled, and you're going to have to overcome, you're going to have to win tough positions. You're going to have to overcome adversity, maybe, who knows. And the events that happen along the way in the first and second period will affect the outcome if it goes that long. We got to be ready to go.
Tom Brand says Iowa Penn State wrestling presents a different kind of pop and fire. It'll be the final appearance in this dual rivalry for Pennsylvania native Spencer Lee. The two-time Dan Hodge Trophy winner knows the clock is ticking through his senior season. Spencer Lee is next on the Fight for Iowa podcast.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
You don't have to go to the game to get a game program. You can download it now by visiting the game day page on HawkeyeSports.com. That's right, the game program is now digital and it's free. So check it out. Get the roster, the stats, and fascinating stories about today's matchup. Just go to HawkeyeSports.com and click on Game Day.
Oh, you know that old injury of yours? The one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa's Spencer Lee has won 48 straight dual meet matches. He leads the Hawkeyes into Penn State Friday for the 1-versus-2 showdown. After ACL repairs to both knees, Lee is feeling better than ever. Lee adds the surgeries have caused him to wrestle differently, albeit with the same positive result, and make every move count.
One turn changes the whole course of a match, for sure. The match is a lot different when it's 6-0 versus 2-0 going to the second period, right? You know, in my head, if I'm up 6-0, there's not any chance in the world that I'm going to lose the match in any world, because how's he going to score 6 points on me without me scoring any back? So that's just kind of where your brain's got to go. And, you know, takedown transitions is how you win wrestling matches, in my opinion. So I'm glad to see guys, you know, focusing a little bit more on that. I know we've always been focusing on that, but I like seeing it, you know, come to fruition. I haven't done a camp in like 5 years, but when I did do one, I remember the dads come up to me going, "We already show our kids this. Show us what you do." I'm like, "This is what I do. I don't really know what you're talking about." They thought I was like hiding something from them. It's just, I don't think I do anything special. I just, you know, I wrestle hard to the position. You know, a lot of guys, I think, focus on their feet and they wrestle really hard on their feet. You know, I wrestle just as hard on top and on bottom. You know, three position wrestler, rather than just kind of, you know, trying to ride, or, you know, I don't ride, I try and turn. So I think putting more emphasis in the turn might help people maybe, but I'm always gonna be hard on myself. So I always think I have a lot of room to improve, and hopefully I continue improving throughout the season and feeling better than ever. So that's kind of the goal for me, is to keep feeling good and keep scoring points and trying to, you know, get off the mat as fast as possible if that's the thing I can do. If not, then I got to wrestle 7 minutes and more if needed, just like we always say. So for me, it's one match at a time, and once that match is over, then you focus on the next match and you just keep going out there and go out there and do what you do best and wrestle hard and wrestle smart and, you know, stay in good position. And, you know, if pins come, then you take them. And like I said in a previous interview, if you get a guy in a position to put him away, you got to put him away. So I don't think I've ever had like people boo at me or anything, except maybe like, you know, the only time I've ever been booed was in my state tournament in high school. So I don't really think I've ever felt like a villain. I think a lot of fans are really kind to me, and, you know, they're always, no matter what colors they're wearing, they're always, you know, come up to me and shake my hand and whatnot. So, but it's just different when you're in an arena and you got the, you know, obviously, like I always say, we have the best fans in the world and they're super passionate, and it's just, it's different feeling when you're defending your home turf than when you're going somewhere else. And, you know, obviously comfortability as well, just being within your own place and knowing your own stuff is just awesome. You know, I would love to wrestle every match if I could. So, because rankings don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. It's just a number that people put to try and hype up matches. Because at the end of the day, when two people walk out of the middle of the mat, you're both 0-0, and the ref blows the whistle. It's a 7-minute match, and it's a fight. You know, so it doesn't matter if the guy's number one in the country or if he's from a different country. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, you have to go out there and you got to do your job. So, might make some people more nervous, might make me more nervous even as well. It doesn't matter. But I get pretty dang nervous for every match, no matter who it is. It doesn't matter if they're Olympic champion or if they're a first-time wrestler in college wrestling. I don't care. I'm going to be super nervous. I'm going to get ready for it like it's the biggest match in the world, because it is, because it's the next one.
Spencer Lee labels himself the lone wolf, prowling nervously before every match, thinking through his next opponent, where he can score points. Lee is working on a streak of 6 consecutive pins, 4 of those against top 10 ranked opponents. The Big Ten Wrestler of the Week hasn't lost a duel since the 2018 season and is 78-5 for his career. Now this.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you, because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Hawkeye fans, join Rob Brooks and Lisa Bluter each week from 6 to 7 for Hawk Talk at Bumps Restaurant, presented by Oak Knoll. View the season schedule at HawkeyeSports.com.
Hey, Hawkeyes fans, the wait is over. The Iowa men's and women's basketball teams are back on the court, and Shields has everything you need to cheer on your favorite players all season long. Take your game day gear to the next level with Shields Fan Shop. We have an unmatched lineup of gear, including jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more to help you show off your team colors. So gear up, Hawkeyes fans, and celebrate all season with Shields, a proud partner of Iowa basketball and hoops fans everywhere.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hawkeye Wrestling concludes its home dual meet schedule Friday, February 10th against Michigan and Sunday, February 19th with the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I'm Gary Dolphin. That's this week's Fight for Iowa podcast. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. Until next time, on Iowa and go Hawks! The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.